Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'll be sharing with you the top 5 books I want to read this winter. So I have one that I currently own that I haven't read yet that I'm really excited to read, and then the other 4 are new releases that are coming out within the next few months, so that I'm really excited about. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So starting out with the book that I actually own, this is one that my aunt has read and she said she really enjoyed it, so I feel like this is the perfect book to read kind of in the winter time, and it is Beartown by Fredrik. Backman. And basically from what I gather of the premise, I don't want to know too much about this, but it takes place in a very small kind of rural foresty town called Beartown that has a very promising, like, it lives, breathes its hockey team there, and there is an event that happens basically where a young girl is very much traumatized that involved a couple of the hockey players, and it deals with the aftermath of that. And like my aunt said, she said this one is very hard hitting, so I'm very much excited to see and like read this. What I don't want to know, like I said, I didn't want to know too much about this, but from what I gathered from that brief synopsis, I think will be very interesting. So I'm very curious to see, and like I said, because of this wintry setting, I feel like it's perfect to read in winter. So like I said, I'm very excited for this one. So next up we have a new release that is coming out, and it is The King of Crows by Libba Bray, and this is the 4th book in the Diviners series, and I'm very much excited for this because the last one, Before the Devil Breaks You, like, was completely, like, it ended crazily, so I'm very much excited to see how this one kind of, like, what unfolds. So basically the premise of this is that it takes place in the roaring 20s in New York, and it follows this group of misfits that are known as the Diviners. So they kind of have some supernatural abilities, like one girl can touch an object and know the history of the person who owned it, one person can walk through dreams, so on and so forth, and they kind of end up getting intertwined with this very dark spirit known as the King of Crows, who's kind of wreaking havoc both in the supernatural world and our worlds. So I'm very excited for this one. I feel like I need to have a refresher because these books are very kind of complex, so I'm trying to see if I'm like, I was like, maybe I can kind of marathon through these just to see, so I'll be all caught up. So maybe that will be something that I'll be doing this winter as well. But this one is a very good kind of atmospheric, dark, creepy fantasy series. This one comes out December 26th, and I'm so excited for it, and it is Daughter of CAOS, and this is the 2nd book in relation to the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, like, that ties in with the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Netflix series. And I read the first one, Season of the Witch, earlier, or kind of towards the end of the summertime, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. Like, it took me by surprise, and I feel like a lot of the tie-in books that are related to TV shows aren't done at a kind of good quality as like the TV shows are, but this one took me by surprise. It dwelled, like, it kind of touched on characters' backgrounds and stories that aren't necessarily discussed in the TV show, so it kind of built upon those, and it alluded to things that tied in with what happened in the final season so far, like in season 2, kind of what happened in the finale there. So I'm very excited for this one. Like I said, I really love that show, and if you are a fan of this series, like, you will actually find these books really, really good. There's certain chapters that are written from the perspective of the dark, and it kind of dwells on the characters' fears and insecurities, which probably were actually my favorite chapters in there. But yeah, like I said, I'm really excited for this one. Next we have Bitter Falls, which comes out January 21st, and this is the newest book in the Stillhouse Lake series. And basically the premise of the story, it follows a girl who is a mother of 2, and her whole world changes one day when it kind of unravels that her husband was a notorious serial killer, and even though she was proven innocent in court, people still think she was somehow involved with these murders. So she takes her kids and they go basically undercover. They kind of change their names and it kind of takes off from there. But this is a very dark and twisted series, and I'm very curious to see how this series is progressing, because the first book kind of sets up the character's background, and I feel like it could have been a duology with the second book. So I'm very interested to see the direction this one takes. I think she becomes like an advocate for people who are kind of in her like similar situation, so I'm very much interested to see how this series progresses. And lastly, on December 1st, I have 9 Elms by Bryndza, and this is his new series. I really love his Erica Foster series, and this is his new foray into like a new crime series, which I'm really excited about. He's probably one of my favorite crime novelists. So basically what I gathered from this, it follows a young police officer who somehow gets intertwined into this very high profile murder case, and it kind of goes south. She's very much disgraced within the police community, but 15 years after this there is a copycat, and she has to somehow she gets tied into the case from there. For this, like for crime series in particular, I do not like to know too much about the plot, just kind of like dive into them blind, but I still am very excited for this one. Bryndza is a very fast-paced novelist in terms of how he structures his books. Like, it's very incredibly fast-paced, and there's so many twists and turns, and it really keeps you on your toes. So I'm very excited to see this new kind of crime series, because I'm like I said, I think it will be really good. So I have high expectations for this one. So that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what some winter books that you are excited to read this season and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.